Can you explain US taxes for an e-commerce business? That could be a dropshipping business, an Amazon business, a Shopify business, or an Etsy business.
Sure. And are we assuming that that's an LLC?
Correct.
Okay. So now that we've determined that it's an LLC, so e-commerce is an area where there is still debate. There is differing opinions on how to do it. I think that the first question that you have to ask yourself when you are doing e-commerce is, where are the supplies coming from and how are you storing and moving them, right? Because if you own your own, so like one of the criteria that we used earlier to determine if you have US sourced income is whether or not you have an office space in the US. Well, for example, if you have a large e-commerce organization that owns its own warehouse in Wyoming or Kentucky or whatever, that is going to count as US sourced income, no question. So if you own your own supply chain, if you have a place where you manufacture or warehouse goods that you own, right, the taxes are going to be a lot different. So that's the first question I would ask somebody is, how do the goods move, right? If you're shipping them from a third party over to the US, typically your core function is more marketing. So in that case, what you're going to do is you're going to file a similar form to any US foreign-owned company that is not operating in the US. You're going to file 5472 and a pro forma 1120. However, an e-commerce business, unlike a service business, does have additional complications, such as the sales tax, or as it's known in other parts of the world, GST or VAT, right? Which is a whole nother fraught issue. Now, what I usually tell people is that most states have what's called a de minimis exception for sales tax. So if you're below a certain threshold, you don't really have to worry about it. So for the newest entrepreneurs who maybe don't own a warehouse, who don't own their own supply chain, that don't manufacture their own goods, that aren't doing $200,000 of business in a certain state, your operation is going to be very simple. It's going to be very similar to any other type of digital marketing business. But for e-commerce, as you scale into the multi-millions, right, there are some complexities that come up that may not with other types of businesses. So that's something to think about.